Good evening. From Ankara to Gaza, the political temperature in the Middle East has just risen sharply. Turkey has announced one of its boldest moves yet against Israel, shutting down its ports and its skies to Israeli ships and aircraft. Standing at the Foreign Ministry podium, Turkey's top diplomat Hakan Fidan delivered the message without hesitation. We have completely cut off our trade with Israel. We have closed our ports to Israeli ships. We do not allow Turkish ships to go to Israeli ports. I emphasize that no other country has completely cut off trade with Israel. Moments later, he underlined his stance again, this time in Turkish, declaring that Ankara will not allow ships carrying Israeli weapons and munitions to enter Turkish ports, nor Israeli military aircraft to cross Turkish airspace. Civilian flights, for now, remain untouched. But the symbolism is unmistakable. This is not Turkey's first move against Israel. In November last year, Ankara denied passage to Israel's presidential aircraft, forcing President Isaac Herzog to cancel his appearance at the COP29 climate summit in Azerbaijan. And in May, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was forced to scrap a visit to Baku after Turkish air restrictions blocked his flight path. Now the rupture is deeper. By cutting access to both ports and airspace, Turkey is signalling to Israel, to Gaza and to the world that it is ready to confront Jerusalem more directly than ever before. The timing could hardly be more fraught. Israel continues its military campaigns across the region. Images released by its defense forces show fighter jets taking off and landing as they participate in operations not just in Gaza, but also in Syria and against Iranian targets. The scope of Israel's military engagement is expanding even as international pressure grows. Prime Minister Netanyahu, speaking from Julis in northern Israel, outlined his priorities. Right now, we are focusing on three things: protecting the Druze community in the Sweda Governorate, creating a demilitarized zone stretching from the Golan Heights to the south of Damascus and down to Sweda, and establishing a humanitarian corridor to allow the delivery of aid, food, construction materials, everything required, medical assistance in large scale. These discussions are taking place right now at this very moment. But while Israel frames its mission as one of defense and humanitarian planning, the reality on the ground in Gaza tells a different story. In the southern part of Gaza City, a man combs through the rubble of his home, searching for anything left intact. At Al-Shifa Hospital, grieving women collapse in tears as they identify loved ones killed in airstrikes. Others inspect bomb-cratered buildings where whole neighborhoods have been reduced to twisted concrete and ash. For Palestinians enduring the bombardment, Ankara's embargo may feel like overdue solidarity. For Hamas, the Islamist group governing Gaza, it is more than that. The organization openly praised Turkey's decision, urging that sanctions be intensified to isolate Israel completely. But what impact will Turkey's move actually have? Officials in Ankara have not yet specified when the ban will take effect or how comprehensively it will be enforced. For now, it applies to official vessels and aircraft, not commercial flights or trade. Yet the precedent is stark. No other country has severed this many logistical ties with Israel. Economists caution that there could be fallout on both sides. Turkey is a critical transit hub for shipping in the eastern Mediterranean. Israeli ports depend heavily on international connectivity for trade and energy supply. Meanwhile, Turkey's own tourism and energy sectors could feel the strain if relations collapse further. For President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's government, the calculus is also political. At home, Ankara has long positioned itself as a champion of the Palestinian cause. Accusing Israel of genocide in Gaza, charges that Israel strongly denies, the Turkish leadership plays to domestic anger and regional solidarity. By taking such a dramatic step, Erdogan and his foreign minister signal both strength and leadership within the Islamic world. For Israel, the message is received but not necessarily heeded. Netanyahu remains defiant, committed to military operations in Gaza and across its northern frontier. In Jerusalem, the embargo is seen as yet another obstacle in an already hostile regional environment. Israel's strategy remains focused on security, not diplomacy. What cannot be ignored is how far the relationship between Ankara and Jerusalem has fallen. Once close military allies, the two countries shared intelligence and even carried out joint defense projects. That partnership is now a memory buried under the weight of Gaza's ongoing war and Turkey's pivot toward harsher confrontation. Meanwhile, Gaza's plight deepens. Food is scarce, hospitals are overwhelmed, and humanitarian aid is often blocked or delayed. International agencies warn of impending famine and widespread disease if access is not secured soon. For the families burying their dead or sifting through ruins, diplomatic embargoes and high-level speeches offer little comfort. And so, the story of Turkey's closure of ports and skies is twofold. For Ankara, it is a display of sovereignty and solidarity. For Israel, it is one more challenge in a war already testing its endurance. And for Palestinians in Gaza, it is a gesture of support, though it does not stop the bombs from falling. The Gaza war has become more than a local conflict. It now reshapes alliances across the Middle East, drawing in regional powers and straining even NATO dynamics. Each move, each embargo, each strike, each speech reverberates far beyond its immediate battlefield. Tonight, Turkey's announcement captures headlines, but Gaza's destruction commands the images: rubble where homes once stood, mourners in crowded morgues, children staring at broken walls that were once their bedrooms. The embargo may close skies and ports, but it cannot close the wounds of war. This is your news channel, reporting on Turkey's dramatic decision to shut its ports and airspace to Israel, a measure that redefines diplomacy, stirs controversy, and underscores the unrelenting cost of conflict in Gaza. We have completely cut off our trade with Israel. We have closed our ports to Israeli ships. We do not allow Turkish ships to go to Israeli ports. I emphasize that no other country has completely cut off trade with Israel. Right now, we are focusing on three things: protecting the Druze community in the Sweda Governorate, but not only there, creating a demilitarized zone stretching from the Golan Heights to the south of Damascus and down to and including Sweda. We have completely cut off our trade with Israel. We have closed our ports to Israeli ships. We do not allow Turkish ships to go to Israeli ports. I emphasize that no other country has completely cut off